done. You're going to be taking splinters out of your fat asses all night long because you got fat asses. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you need to run lickety split. But you can't run because you're fat asses. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal-looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the DMs of line. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Army tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keep winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good lucha thing.
I hate dogs!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the style and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
All right. Wow, I think that has to be the I think that has to be the intro for Kitty Talk right there. Yeah, I think it does. Let's keep that one. Let's keep that one around. What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. Wrestling Outlet is here. I am Boxman. I hope everybody's doing a hell of a good job out there and having a good time. And of course, riding along with me as always.
That is right. Spinning, grinning and sinning. It is I, Mark Wahlberg. I use a earthquake to mix my milkshake. And if you're wondering why I plagiarized Rudy Ray Moore, I will tell you something. Get ready for two impossibilities here. I came back from the gym. No, this is not a joke. Follow along with me. Imagine such a thing. I know it's hard to comprehend, but I was there. And when I came back from the gym, I wanted to do a little bit of early show prep. Already two things that sound like an impossibility if you know me, but they happened. So I sent all the news for the day at about 4:30 to Boxman, who decides to tell me that I need to come up with a new intro for myself because he's tired of doing it for me. That's the amount of effort he's putting in. We got a show next. We're not doing a show next week. So he is the kid that did not show up to school on the last day of school, even though it was a half day.
I didn't say I was tired of doing it. I said I was not creative enough to keep coming up with creative intros for you and clever intros. I've wasted them.
And I knew that the very first thing I had to do for my intro was to throw you under the bus. So I didn't decide to be creative either. I just decided to hold somebody else accountable for my problems, which is a long-standing tradition.
I get it. I do. And it's fine. It's no big deal, man. No big deal. I get it. But I don't know, man. you're coming out of your shell, Smark. What do you want me to say?
There you go.
You're coming out of your shell, boy. Oh, fuck. Anyway, boy, injuries. Mainly what we got to get into tonight. A few other things to get into, but obviously we're going to get into Cody Rhodes. Probably the biggest thing that came out of Hell in a Cell. I didn't really watch Hell in a Cell. I was a bad wrestling fan. Didn't bother. Didn't care. Didn't even know it was on. I basically drank all day Sunday.
Which ironically would have put you in a great place to watch.
Probably. I mean, from what I heard, it really wasn't a bad show. There was some good stuff on it. But, I mean, I listened to a couple of reviews, as I always do, and didn't sound like a bad show, but I did see a good chunk of the Cody Rhodes Rollins match, so we can get into all that as we're going here.
The only non-Cody thing I heard about that happened on Hell in the Cell was that Edge's stable Judgment Day beat Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan. Edge pinned Finn Balor, and then Monday, Judgment Day turned on Edge in favor of Finn Balor being their new leader, which makes absolutely no sense and perfectly describes why I don't watch Raw anymore.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I'm not going to lie. I did notice all that. I did see all that. I even saw Edge looking like a horse with a bit in his mouth.
Apparently, they wanted to do more supernatural, spooky shit, a la like Bray Wyatt and stuff. And then Edge saw what happened to Bray Wyatt and said, I don't want to do that. So they gave him a storyline injury to explain why he's going to be off TV for a minute, I guess, and why he's not with them anymore. They turned on him.
Well, the rumor that was going around is that they moved him to the babyface section of Raw on the website, which I didn't know they had a babyface and heel section on the website. That's news to me right there. That's the first thing right there. It really? I didn't even know that. And why? What the fuck for? These are our baby faces. You have to like these guys.
Make more money and less sense every week.
It's because the world gets more gullible every week, Smark. All of us. Every one of us. I ain't putting blame anywhere, my man. But I guess we can go ahead and knock these plugs out of here, and we'll go ahead and do that. Let me get back to Mixler, which means I can play a little music in the background real quick, and we will get these bad boys going here. All right, let's get these bad boys going. That's right, the high marks, Cheeseman, Mojo, and G Wiz. You should be listening to them already. If you are not, you're absolutely insane. You should be. You should be listening to them right here on Mixer.com/Metal Mid Podcast Network. And you should also check them out on YouTube. If you're around there, go ahead and check them out. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights. And Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, they are the Inhumans. Check them out on the Inhuman Experience. Please go over, subscribe, and go anywhere you find good podcasts to look for them. And while you're there, look for Eric, Daniel, and Doug over there on the Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. That's right, the EUP Network over there on Blog Talk Radio. Check out those guys over there and wherever you find podcasts. Stephen Milan, he is over there reviewing films on Letterboxd. BOXD.com/Stephen Milan. Go check him out. And definitely go check out Hollywood Hangout. Me and Smart knocked out a great episode of music videos last week, and I'm still not 100% sure what I'm doing this week yet, but I will be later. Go ahead, Smart.
Very good. Cheese on Sports returns in August. Meanwhile, what you want to do is, if you have a gap in your listening space, you want to listen to Mojo and Dirk's Most Absolute Show with Mojo, with Dirk. They're both in the chat. We thank you for joining us, and be sure to check out our friends at Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem. He's here too. Papa Dave Sincere and Young Nasty. All 16 episodes of season 1 are available, but you also get buy one, get one free, all for the low, low price of just a subscription. You get season 2, that's 10 episodes. If I can do the math correctly, that is 26 episodes, all for your listening pleasure. Be sure to subscribe right now.
There you go. A BOGO. My God. Fucking
That's right.
BOGO, baby. Who doesn't love a BOGO? So All right, there it is with your BOGO in there too. And that's what we got for plugs right now. Obviously, get back to those at the end of the show. And all right, so are we gonna have our rolling contest? Excuse me. Looks that way. Looks like we might. Excuse me. Jeez.
Take on anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Jesus Christ. I'm getting old.
It happens.
The dust in this house is getting old. Anyway, I guess we try not to leave y'all hanging, and we're going to go ahead and just get right into, like I said, probably the main thing coming out of Hell in a Cell, excuse me, on Sunday. Excuse me, guys, I apologize for this, is the Cody Rhodes thing. Obviously, the pay-per-view was Sunday night. You obviously all have known and seen the pictures by now of Cody Rhodes, who decided to wrestle with a torn pec. Now, it said a torn pec ligament and muscle, I think it said. I think
all I'm seeing here is torn pec, but there was probably further damage.
Probably. It was pretty rough looking when he took off that jacket. The crowd kind of went silent. Let's see. SBC is saying Bill Body claims the pec tear is not as bad as it seems. Should be out for a few weeks. That could be 6 months, dude. I don't know. Who's Bill Body?
I don't know. There was a video of an actual doctor that kind of talked about whether or not he should have competed. And basically he said that it couldn't have gotten any worse. So he's like, well, that's sort of the silver lining, is he couldn't have fucked it up any worse than it already was, outside of just the fact that you could potentially, overcompensate and overwork certain, other body parts and may potentially lead injuries, additional injuries there. But outside of that, he wasn't going to do any more damage to the pec. It was pretty much already destroyed at that point anyway.
Yeah, but you can't. It did look darker. Honestly, by the end of that fucking match that I saw, it looked like he had done a little bit more damage. And you can do more damage. You can. It's already off the bone, I know, but you can tear more.
Oh yeah, there's always room for additional injuries, but apparently it was about as fucked up as it could be in that particular injury anyway. He couldn't have made that injury worse.
Right.
Just added additional ones.
And I guess Bill Body is on Conan's show. For some reason, that gives him clout. Yeah.
I just want to believe that Bill Body is just Hernandez using a fake voice.
If Bill Body's not a doctor, I'm gonna tell him to go fuck himself. There's certain people, yeah, go kiss my body. No. Listen, people heal differently. Especially for wrestling, people do heal. They got to heal a little better than just a regular person out there that's just going to go back to a fucking cubicle to go to work. These guys don't go to a fucking cubicle, obviously. They're going into a wrestling ring to get thrown around by another man, sometimes woman. But it's not just going. It's more than just healing. It's healing, rehabbing, getting 100% to go back in the ring. If Conan's show is keeping it 100, maybe they should keep it fucking 100 and realize not everybody is John Cena and can heal in 6 weeks from a fucking injury like that, which he did. Steroids are a great thing, aren't they? Human growth hormones are even better. I'm sorry. Am I saying all that out loud? I'm just saying.
I do not have the LeBron James hairline. I can't testify to the levels for HGH, but I've heard some pretty good user reviews.
Cena's losing his hair. That's why he's growing it back one more time.
Yeah.
He's like, let's grow back what I can for one more run, baby. One more run with the hair, baby. It's like when Bruce Willis had one more run with the hair, Like Hudson Hawk days. He had one more quick run, and then it was like, fuck it. Just be bald.
It's better than hair plugs, or I feel like you either get like a wig or you just let it happen.
So either you're, like you just go QT Marshall with the obvious plugs.
Oh God,
By, wait a minute. By the way, I'm looking on that that Zumo app the other day that I watch poker on. And I'm looking around and scrolling around, and I see this little video pop up that I can watch on demand. It's called The Wrestler. Not the wrestler you're thinking of. It is a QT Marshall story.
Yeah, I've actually heard about that. It was like he tried out for WWE and they saw him and they said, "You're QT Marshall, please leave." And he got very dejected.
That's pretty much he's got one more chance to get to WWE, and it's like, why would I don't know. That's why it's on Zumo. Zumo is not a very popular. I tell people about Zumo and they're like, "What?" I'm like, you know what? Just get Pluto. It's the same shit. It really is. It's the same.
I like how the documentary of him failing is also on a second tier app. He wasn't good enough to make Tubi.
Oh, it's literally just like Pluto. I really think it's just like a off-brand Pluto is all it is. I think they might just fucking mirror Pluto and put their logo on it for all I know.
There's a whole bunch of other I just call them secondary apps because you have Stir as one, like you said, Zumo. There's a couple other ones, Film Rise, things like that.
Yeah, this is the easiest one I found to watch the World Poker Tour off. So that's what I've been watching off it. World Poker Tour, Poker Go. They got a couple of good movies on there. Some of their movies.
How would they not have an app? You would think that they would have there'd be a World Poker Tour app, and then maybe even a plus app where they teach you tips and shit.
Well, there is, and there's also WPT Poker Trainer, which you can get once on the on WPT.com, and they do have an app, but their app isn't that great. And I mean, this doesn't show new episodes at all. They go to season 16, 17 is as far as they go. And WPT is still going. I mean, they've been going since 2000, I want to say 2005, something like that. Maybe even a little earlier. I know it's 2017, I believe, was their 16th or 17th season. So it's been going for a while, that show, man. And it's still going now. But I don't know, man. I just I like watching. I have for a while, but this station just seems to be the easiest one to go on. SBC has been going full Vince Russo on us tonight, bro. I don't know if you've noticed, but he's going full bro on us, bro.
That's been extensive Conan conversation the last 5 minutes or so. I would listen to Conan's podcast if Disco Inferno wasn't on it. I do not give a flying fuck about anything Disco Inferno has to say. There was a really good him and Kenny Omega got into an argument on Twitter. Man, when a Canadian just fucking takes you to school, it's sad because he called him he said that he really didn't care about the opinions of an enhancement talent, and somebody was like, "That's a little bit rough to call him an enhancement talent." He's like, "Yeah, that is a bit much. He didn't really do anything to enhance anybody else's career." I was like, "Geez, you fucking doubled down on going in on that, man."
That's not fucking surprising at all from that man at all. But I don't know. But anyway, I guess we can get back to Cody. I don't know how we got on a fucking Vince. Well, it's SBC's fault, bastard. Get us off track.
Which has the bro market corner.
Pretty much got us going off track. But anyway, Cody went out there and he just had this. I mean, it was all bruised and it did not look good. No, I mean, I'm not saying, but people really made it like this guy is the only guy to ever go out there and do this. And my God, what he did. Even fucking Sports Illustrated put out an article. Here's the headline: Cody Rhodes' gutty Hell in a Cell performance was the stuff of legends.
Mm-hmm.
Legends. I guess we're just gonna forget that Triple H finished a fucking match with a fucking ripped off the bone quad, and also got put in the fucking walls of Jericho. Finished a match.
Stone Cold won a match while being paralyzed, essentially.
Stone Cold, damn right, when Owen did that. Let's see, we've got, I think I remember Mr. Kennedy broke Kurt Angle's arm, or was it vice versa? One of them had a broken arm, and I watched him wrestle the match. We all did. We've seen some pretty fucking, listen, I'm not putting anything past what Cody did. That took fucking balls to go out there and do that. I know this was his first big match, and I'm sure, I am sure Cody's ego did not get in the way of his decision to go out there with a torn pec and wrestle that match. I'm positive, Smark, that his ego was not even a factor that he was thinking about, because he doesn't know he has an ego. But anyway, what say you, sir?
I will say that, this is for once a bit of a change, because people, I guess, realized that he was injured, so they decided to suck Cody's dick because Cody couldn't suck his own dick. As Christopher Kane would say. I felt it necessary to bring that one up. But, so there was sort of the point of a lot of speculation, and people were talking this and that about how whether or not he should have came out there and wrestled, whether or not the doctor should have held him out. Basically, just like, whose fault was it, if there is fault, if he shouldn't have wrestled. So to clarify things, Cody, of course, had to set things straight. Cody Rhodes says that no one convinced him to wrestle with a torn pec at WWE Hell in a Cell after his victory over Seth Rollins in the main event. Rhodes cut a promo that wasn't shown on the live broadcast, which... That's funny. He doesn't get to suck his dick in front of the television audience. He said the decision to perform while injured was solely his call. Quote, I am the God Messiah of professional... No, sorry. I am sure that I'm going to explain things a little further tomorrow. I will be very brief. No one convinced me with a torn pec to come out here. It's solely my decision. Rhodes said, you would have had to literally kill me from staying away from this ring. 10 times out of 10, I would have made the same decision. Going on last, Allstate Arena in Chicago, you paid your money. You guys have believed in me, and you didn't have to. Please know from the bottom of my heart, I believe in you. We are going to finish this thing. Thank you all very much. Have a great night, and I love you. Thank you. And then, of course, Cody rised on the Monday.
Yes.
I mean, on the seventh day, Cody rised.
Oh, on the seventh day, he rose. Absolutely. No, or was he rested? I believe.
Well, yeah, but now he has to do a lot of resting because he done went and tore his pec.
Well, he's going to be busy turning water into wine. So, my daughter decided to come in. Hi, Lene.
Hey, Mommy.
I don't know. Where's Mommy? Okay. Well, Mommy's out there. Go ahead.
You have a missing person.
She's not in here. Is she here? And closes the door. No, not in here. No.
I am mildly disappointed that you didn't you weren't prepared enough to when she came in and said, "Where's Mommy?" Hit the CSI sting.
I don't know where the fuck is Mommy. I could have done that too, but
it's a cliffhanger. Stay tuned to find out where's Mommy.
Probably in the kids' room or ran out to her car. That's about the only two things we really. I mean, this house is so small; it's not hard to find anybody. So, who knows? And the lights may be off, and she can't see her because, for some reason, everyone in my house. I'm the only one who likes lights in my house. It seems, but yeah, I mean, thank you, Cody, for clarifying, and a good night to you. And Cody, this whole country loves you, obviously, which is, listen, this was my own, again, the guy had balls. I respect the shit out of what he did to go out there hurt. I don't think I would have done it, to be honest with you. I would have been like, fuck that, I'm hurt, I'm going home, pay me, fuck you, pay me. Fucking Goodfellas style. Fuck you, pay me. But this company that he is now working for, WWE, touts their wellness policy and how proud they are and how great it is. And how many waivers do you think he had to sign? How many fucking? I mean, really? You think they made him sign fucking waivers like they would in any sport to just be like, look, if you get more hurt out there, it's on you.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Because I got a feeling a few people didn't. I don't think he could be medically cleared with that. Really? Could you be medically cleared with a torn?
I mean, apparently he was, because they had sort of listed a couple of instances where they had to like stop matches. And people weren't cleared, and then change things up when they were talking about it on the Observer. But apparently, I mean, there are instances where the referee or the doctor has not cleared people. But God, I can't imagine like what the litmus test would have had to have been for that.
I don't know, man. I just know that this is a company that touts and brags about their wellness policy, and to put a guy out there, as you say, Smark, the optics on that don't look great.
No, not at all. And I mean, I think that was more than anything like the reason why everybody got so upset, or the people who did get upset got upset, was, I mean, it just looked absolutely terrible. Like, I'm sure people have wrestled with worse injuries, and like we listed some of them, but
Right.
it looked horrible. Like his entire, like the right side of his chest just looked like it had gotten frostbitten or whatever. It's completely black and purple, and it's just gross looking.
Yeah, it did not look good. But again, I'm not taking anything away from what Cody went out there and did. The match was great. Seth Rollins goes out there and in the polka dots, which was fucking brilliant, fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So that was good. But it pretty much was. I mean, it's really all anybody was talking about was this whole Seth Rollins thing, pretty much the whole week. There was, just like with MJF, there was question whether Cody was going to show up, because WWE announced this just a few hours before Hell in a Cell started, I believe, that he's hurt and they weren't sure if he was going to be able to go, and then he goes out there and, does what he does. And by the way, it didn't hurt.
Yeah,
this.
Basically, it seemed like they announced on the pre-show that he wasn't going to wrestle, and then they announced he was going to wrestle. It became this whole wrong thing.
Yeah, by the way, he did this lifting weights. This wasn't anything that he did in a match. This was a weightlifting accident.
I'm almost certain that same thing happened to Kane.
Yeah?
Where he tore his pec working out. Well, it was a long, long time ago, obviously, but...
Well, listen. Kofi and
if I recall, that's when he came back with like the half face mask.
Yes. I mean, listen.
And then eventually he took the mask off.
Okay. I do remember that now.
I don't know why I felt the need to give you a brief history of Kane. But you know what? Since we go off the rails too much on this show, would you like to hear my presentation at the Kane Museum?
No.
He's the mayor of Knoxville, and it's sort of a civic duty of mine to tout his praises.
Well, you're already wrong. He's the mayor of Knox County, not Knoxville.
Yes, which surprisingly enough, Knoxville is not in. It's a weird fucking thing.
Hey, New Mexico isn't in Mexico. I mean, what are you going to do? It's just the way it works, Mark. But, I mean, listen, Kofi and Chris Jericho have been wrestling with no chest, no pecs at all for years, and they get by. So I guess there's no big deal here.
Actually, I was wrong. Yeah, Knoxville is in Knox County, so he is technically the mayor of Knoxville.
Oh, I didn't.
Proxy.
There you go.
So I was right the first time, but then I let you plant the seeds of doubt in my head, and things have spiraled.
We're just doing... Boy, this bus is just driving by on this show, isn't it, tonight?
Yep. You're watching the beginning of the end right before your very
beep, beep, meow.
Mud-slinging snowbounds. You're doing a tell-all podcast in about a week or two. Stay tuned.
All right, I don't think we give a shit about Cody because we can't keep on the fucking subject.
What was funny was the actual intent of this was going to be to put him over for like being gutsy and fucking having the courage and having the tenacity to go out there and actually still perform, but then we just immediately started making fun of him, and I couldn't resist either. So, yeah, I mean, he did something really cool. really ballsy.
Yeah,
Went out there and worked with a fucking really bad injury, but you guys know the extent of it right now. There's no timetable for his return. He gutted it out, and it was his decision to do so. So you can't blame anybody but him.
Yeah, it was funny. I got this. I got a driver that comes in to deliver to us, and he listens to the show. He actually listens to us. And the other day, his first question to me was, "Dude, why does your co-host hate Cody Rhodes so much?" I said, "Have you not listened to the show? It's fucking. It's definitely both of our sentiments for Cody."
Well, yes. I mean, depending on when you were listening to the show, this is very true. Eric did his best to defend him, but it was a futile effort. But other than that, yes, pretty much everyone here, including the chat room, has spent a countless amount of time making fun of Cody. I have no really issue with him as a man or as a person, but it is fun to make fun of him for all his self-aggrandizement.
Yeah, and I mean, Eric even eventually gave up on even trying to fucking do that. So, no, I was saying,
yes, we thoroughly crushed that poor man's spirit.
As we should have. Fucking Cody fans. God damn it.
I mean, I just stand outside of WWE live events now with a pamphlet on why that people should hate Cody, and I stand up.
Oh, there you go.
Like, have you heard the good news about why Cody sucks?
Cody Rhodes is great. Oh, man. There was a lot of praise for Cody, as there should have been. But he's not the first guy and won't be the last guy to do this. So I guess we're good on that.
Yep.
Let's just move on, because like I said, we're not even close to, caring about the subject. We just keep moving on to something else. Let's just keep moving on then. Let's see here, Smark. Let's go ahead. Why don't you grab one of those you sent over?
All right. Well, the next one I'm going to read. I'm just going to read them in the order I have them bookmarked, because that's the easiest thing to do. It's a bit of a companion piece here. So WWE, this is from the old Observer. WWE Vince McMahon and not behind Stephanie McMahon's leave of absence. The chief brand officer's leave of absence was her own decision, which we already kind of told you in the past. But there's been developments anyways. Despite a Business Insider report over the weekend that alluded to Vince McMahon driving Stephanie McMahon out of WWE, that is not the case, according to our Dave Meltzer. Meltzer confirmed Monday that she indeed took a leave of absence on her own. The Business Insider report read that Stephanie is, quote, being replaced in her corporate role as part of a shakeup executed by her father, Vince McMahon, the organization's 76-year-old CEO. The longtime WWE chief brand officer announced her leave of absence on May 19th, saying she was taking time off to spend with her family and looked forward to returning once she was sick of her family. However, if she does return, it may not be in the same role as when she left, as WWE is interviewing candidates for a director of brand and marketing. Spoiler alert, they done found one. It was announced on Monday that WWE has hired Catherine Newman in the role of executive vice president and head of marketing. She was formerly the chief marketing officer of Manchester United Media. Newman's oversight will include marketing, brand communication, a word that I cannot pronounce. Let's try this again. Take 7. Marketing, brand, community relations, entertainment relations, creative services, and photography. So she's also going to be taking photos. Very good, very good. Newman brings more than 2 decades of executive experience to WWE, including her most recent role as chief marketing officer of Manchester United Media. I just told you that 5 minutes ago. She has also held senior positions at the Times of London and Financial Times, leading global marketing initiatives, developing strategic partnerships, and boosting subscription growth across various products. What a fucking boring press release. Anyways, you got that. So let's go back to the Stephanie thing. The piece featured quotes from WWE insiders that painted a less than positive picture of the 45-year-old. They're really hung up on age in this report.
Yeah.
Vince is 76, Stephanie is 45, and appears to be part of what Meltzer called a burial by the company via our message board. Well, Davey Melt's still posting on the message board.
Via our message board. A bunch of my fans think that this is what Dave just said. A bunch of my fans think that Stephanie was booted out of the company with absolutely no proof whatsoever that it happened. That is what Dave Meltzer just said. Please continue, Smart.
Yep. One of the Business Insider quotes focused on the lack of growth on sponsorship, which was around $20 million in Q1. Stephanie said on the Q1 investors call that there's no reason WWE couldn't be bringing in hundreds of millions a year in the next 3 to 5 years. Quote, we weren't seeing growth, said the company insider of Stephanie McMahon's tenure. When someone is moved out of a company, it's usually the result of something not working. We took stronger control of that a few months ago. Her exit, temporary or permanent, is the latest in what has been a multi-year overhaul of the front office since Nick Khan took over as president for fired co-presidents George Barrios and Michelle Wilson in early 2020. And you remember how I said none of this shit matters because Vince is in charge anyway? Well, I guess I was wrong. So you can just add that to the other things that I've been wrong about. Nick Khan's actually out here making a difference by firing everybody.
Every fucking body. I'm telling you, man, no one's safe. But I mean, and again, basically what we said on this show, it's summertime. She deserves time off. She's been around this fucking business since she was fucking in her teens and before. Why?
Wearing t-shirts in the WWE catalog, ironically, one of which was Macho Man's t-shirt, but we won't, there.
Oh, yeah.
But like you had said before, that it really didn't seem like it was really anything to get worked up about. And she'll be back, and it probably doesn't matter. And ultimately, she probably will be back, and it ultimately doesn't matter. But it is interesting that they are hiring people to take over responsibilities that she had. Well, now, whether or not they'll actually give her those responsibilities back later is sort of what remains to be seen.
But you can't leave a spot like that open. It's an important spot. It needs to be filled. Someone needs to do that fucking job. So you can't just leave it open. So,
well, I mean, more so, what was interesting about it was not that they hired somebody to sort of take over some of the responsibilities that were left in the wake of her absence. It was just more so that the company was like openly burying her to Business Insider for not doing her job properly. That seems like something that they wouldn't want to get out, if they had any sort of intention of her being back anytime soon. It's sort of a weird thing to do.
No, but it also seems like something that they would just go ahead and say just because they don't care about anyone else or their feelings, or it doesn't have to be necessarily true, but whatever. It was said. It was done. I think it was no big deal. I think she just left. She's got kids. She has time to spend with them. Her husband just went through a horrible ordeal. I think she just was fucking burnt out, needed some fucking time off. Summer's coming, like I said. Kids out of school. Time to spend with family. Why are we making such a big deal about this? Dave Meltzer has zero fucking evidence that there's fucking anything going on besides she's just a good mom trying to take care of her goddamn family a little better than she has been. Done. Issue fucking solved.
I don't have evidence that she's a good mom. Let's not jump the gun here.
Okay. I mean, we don't, but we also have no evidence she's a bad mom. Put it that way. So we're evidenceless, I guess you could say.
Yes, whether or not she's a good mom will be found out later too.
Yes, obviously through all kinds of shoot interviews from her children.
I might be wrong to watch that.
I think all of us would.
Just like fucking 80-year-old Sean Oliver on kayfabe commentaries with like Stephanie McMahon Jr.
Speaking of that, did you see? Speaking of the McMahon children, did you see Declan, Vince's Grant Shane's kid?
I sure haven't.
Picture of him going around online, graduating, I believe high school, maybe college. Either one, the kid looks a lot like old granddaddy. Looks like a little Vince. Looks a lot.
Oh, the phrase "little Vince" just made me picture like a baby with bad fucking haircut and a suit on doing the fucking walk.
Well, he's a tall kid.
Baby
so.
Vince would be adorable. Let's see, Declan McMahon. I'll do it. God,
Yeah.
why are they? That is such a fucking rich person's name. Declan. Like that is definitely a name that you name your kid when you know that your kid's going to private school and they won't be harassed like they would be in public school.
Yes. Drives a convertible, more than likely.
That's another side is the little young Shane Jr. just having the kid drive the fucking little toy car for him. He's in the back seat and he's got the fucking other kid riding the remote control, or not the electric car.
Oh, Shane was probably buying that kid sneakers before he was even born.
Actually, I had a pair when I was like a couple months old, the Nikes. They're very, very, very small, obviously, because they're baby Nikes. I still have them. My mom has them.
I had a pair of work boots my mom thought were adorable. And you know what's weird? I still wear work boots to this day.
I thought you were going to say they still fit. I have surprisingly small feet.
No, if they still fit, I probably wouldn't have a wife or children.
The Benjamin Buttons disease, going backwards.
Yes, I just keep getting younger.
I heard this doesn't make sense to anybody that's listening that's not in the chat, but Dirk Yusufsen's throats are getting tighter. And I would like for him to elaborate on what it is that led him to say that, what we were talking about. I'm incredibly curious.
And Leon is getting fatter. Okay,
So is that a movie quote that I didn't get?
anyone who gets that reference, hit me up. You are a great friend of mine. That was an Airplane reference from the movie.
See, and I like Airplane. I don't know why I didn't get that reference.
Might have been Airplane too. I don't remember. Those movies blend together. Such good fucking movies, man. They blend together really great. All right. So I guess we can move on a little bit. Since we, I guess, started talking about injuries a little bit, we can move on and keep talking about a few little injuries that have come up. Obviously, since we were just talking about Cody Rhodes, CM Punk last Friday obviously did announce on Rampage that he was injured. I think a lot of people expected this when he put out the tweet smart that he had an announcement about the future of the title. But he did not relinquish the title. No matter what Jericho and Excalibur said, they lied. There was a lot of confusion coming out of this. But obviously we did see tonight what they did. They had the Battle Royal for the match to go against Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley won the match, which means he is going to go up against
Yes.
Tanahashi.
I can help you.
Tanahashi, right?
Sort of. Okay. So for those who are not in the know, let's
you.
run all of this back.
Please.
Yes, it's Tanahashi and Goto. But okay, so Punk got injured. So instead of just having like a regular match for an interim title, there was a battle royal. The winner of the battle royal got to wrestle Jon Moxley for the opportunity to wrestle the winner of Hiroki Goto versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Right.
At Forbidden, and that's going to happen at Dominion, and then the title match happens at Forbidden Door. So, do we need a refresher? Everybody wrote that down. You can everybody taking notes. Basically, it was super fucking convoluted.
Yes, it was, and this really didn't need to be done. Now we're going to have this whole interim champion thing. Now, apparently Punk broke his foot jumping into the crowd.
That's always fun.
Jumping into the crowd. I believe it happened Wednesday, obviously on Dynamite. And if you saw when he did jump into the crowd, he did look like he clipped his foot on the guardrail a little bit. They're saying that's more than likely when it happened. If you noticed, after the whole MJF thing went down, Punk came down to the ring, which wasn't televised. Punk came down and MJF skedaddled through the crowd. But Punk was limping a little bit during that. But he came out on Rampage, made this whole announcement. about how he's, going out and he wanted to give you guys this great run as champion. He's hoping to still do that when he gets back, and Tony wouldn't let him relinquish the title and blah, 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 blah. So that's basically what's going on with Punk. He's going to be out for a little while with a broken foot because he decided to stage dive.
If ever there was a sign that you're like your mortality is creeping up on you, nothing's got to make you feel older. If you're CM Punk, then breaking your foot doing a stage dive.
Yeah, besides breaking your hip, making eggs or something. That could make me feel a little old too. That would make me feel pretty old if I, just sitting there making eggs, break my hip. But, whatever. It is pretty shitty. Punk got his first title in 9 years or something. 7 years, 9 years. And the guy immediately does something stupid and he's hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. And now we have to have an interim fucking champion. For what reason? Which is more than likely going to be Jon Moxley.
Yeah, probably.
I would say so.
There's also the alternative possibility that you have because let's be honest, Tanahashi's winning. Unless they want to really be out there with their fucking booking decisions. But
right.
More than likely, Tanahashi's winning.
I think so,
but
too, yeah.
There's also the possibility that you could just have Tanahashi beat Moxley, and then you still end up getting the Tanahashi CM Punk match, but just with higher steps.
Ooh, steps. Love steps.
More at stake, if you will.
Ooh.
And everybody loves a good steak.
Who doesn't love stips or steaks? I love stips. I love stips and steaks. A steak stippy. You give me a steak stippy. Stip the steaks.
That's right.
Stip those fuckers.
Stip the strip steak.
All right, we've really lost track here. One more injury, though. That's also being reported by AEW. Actually, not by AEW-ish. This one's being reported by Sean Ross of Fightful.com that Bryan Danielson also is injured, but it is not a serious injury. Looks like he was probably concussed in his match last week, and they're saying, don't worry, he'll definitely be back for, 1 or 2 weeks, so definitely be back for any matches he's going to be having coming up at Forbidden Door or anything, and don't worry, it's not bad, according to Brian Alvarez. Said he should be out only 1 or 2 weeks. So there you go. That's really a few injuries coming out of last week's pay-per-view, and obviously this week's pay-per-view with WWE. Huh?
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. So both of those right there. But that's really what we got for injuries. That's the injury report for the week.
That's right.
There you go. And which will bring us right to you, Smart.
Well, there's sort of one more injury. It's not necessarily a broken bone, but it's a broken spirit. This is from the old Observer one more time.
Ooh.
Our good friend Ian Carey. I love him. Big fan of his work. Deserves a Peabody. Toni Storm on WWE Exit. They just crushed my love for wrestling.
I just thought
Toni Storm has opened up about her. Go ahead.
Why did I just think of Mr. Peabody when you said that? The cartoon.
Yes, he won a Mr. Peabody.
I'm sorry. It just stuck in my head. I'm literally hearing the voice from Mr. Peabody. Okay, just go ahead.
As somebody who stopped you so that they could give a brief history of Kane, I have no room to complain. But yeah, you want to hear what I can remember about a Kane? I can't tell you barely anything that happened on fucking Dynamite tonight, but here's the Kane history. An oral history of Glenn Jacobs. Toni Storm has opened up about her departure from WWE. The 26-year-old, they are obsessed with fucking age on this website.
They really
The
are.
26-year-old appeared on The Sessions, no longer Oral Sessions, with Renee Paquette,
Ooh.
and spoke about what her departure, led to her departure from the company. Quote, I had some good times in WWE. It was cool at one point, and then it wasn't. It changed, and I didn't want anything to do with it, Storm said during the show. I should have attempted a bad Australian accent. Anyways, she continued to say that everything changed for her when she was moved from NXT to the main roster. Quote, my goal in wrestling was to be on Raw or SmackDown, main roster WWE TV, and then I got there and figured it out pretty soon. I realized that this is just not going to work out. But also, I'm 26. I want to have a really good time in this job. I want to have a really good career, and I want to enjoy part of it, and I just wasn't enjoying it for so long. I abruptly quit. I woke up that morning having no idea that I was going to quit. She also said that the frequent talent releases in WWE contributed to her unhappiness in the company. Quote, let's face it, they just fire people left, right, and center out of the blue. I could be fired next week. And then it's like, what's the point? It just felt very pointless, to be honest. And it's been very hard to convey that, especially to fans, especially to people that just aren't in the business and will never understand. I kind of understand why you didn't want to work for a place that fired people every week. It doesn't really seem hard to fathom.
No.
Storm would continue to say that she doesn't have any hard feelings to WWE, however. Quote, I'm not mad. I'm not angry at WWE. I'm just disappointed. No, she didn't say that part. I don't have anything against them. It just wasn't the fit. I'm sure they've got bigger fish to fry than me. Why do they care? People get let go from that place constantly. People move around constantly. It doesn't matter if I'm there, but what matters is I'm having a very good time. Storm then commented on what she was thinking the day she quit WWE, quote, it was a complicated ordeal, Storm continued. I had built up frustrations with the place for a very long time, like a lot of people do. They don't give a shit, so why should I? This isn't going to work. I know what's going to happen here. I'm just going to be sent back to catering again. I'm not going to succeed here. I can just see it. I know they see me as I'm such a kid and I'm such a newbie and this and that and the other. But I like to think that I've been around wrestling long enough to know. I just know what's right and what's wrong for me and what I like and what I don't like. I just didn't like it in the end. Get it? Because snicker. Anyways, I didn't feel that appreciated.
Because snicker.
Just felt like they at times didn't have, it's disappointing if she doesn't like it in her end, didn't have very much respect for me, quality end. I feel like over time they just crushed my love for wrestling. It just wasn't even wrestling anymore. You're not even allowed to say wrestling. I thought my whole purpose in life was to go to WWE, but then over time I realized it's just pro wrestling that I love. It's not the company. And I think we all know that pro wrestling is really the friends we make along the way. Thank you and good night. No.
Absolutely. I think the truest statement that she said was a little down middle in the paragraph there. They don't give a shit, so why should I? I think, unfortunately, a lot more people are going to feel this way as they keep doing releases, especially if they're going to be doing releases every 90 days like they have threatened to do. I really think a lot more people are going to feel this way. And I mean, let's face it, pretty much everything she said, is something that we've mentioned. How could it feel great working for this company when you know you could be let go at any time? Why, right there, they don't give a shit. Why should I? We've said that before. We've said this, pretty much all the things she has said in this article, we have pretty much gone over it one time or another, or multiple times even at some of them.
Yep. I mean, basically, it's the whole thing of like how companies do it. They're like, yeah, we're like a family here, which coincidentally we need you over Christmas, so you're not going to be seeing your actual family anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we're like a family, because we don't let you go home. But yeah, like how can you care and how can you value a place where it seems like they don't value you?
Yeah, really. And you can tell, I mean, she's 100% right to feel this way. I mean, this woman came all the way from fucking Australia. It's not like she came from fucking, came down from New York or something. And she's not even from this fucking country. And wanted to work, wanted to have a good time. And she was probably having a great time in NXT. She even said she was. And then next thing you know, she gets moved up to the main roster, the, Death Valley, which is what it seems like for some wrestlers. And everything changed. She didn't like it. look, I mean, look at the next sentence. I'm just going to get sent back to catering again. Why? I mean, some people are going to be fine with that. Oh, look, I'm getting a paycheck. I don't give a shit. Then you're going to have some people who, and when she left, we said something about self-worth and, knowing what you're worth. And she wants to work. She thinks she's worth more. And she wanted to try to AEW. So she did. And I know they haven't treated her much better so far, but they're getting there. It looks like they've got some plans for her right now, which is great.
I think more than anything, like you mentioned, it's actually a very good point that you brought up about her being, from Australia, living in Australia, what have you. Is we've seen this with a couple other people. Like they fired them, and then they kind of had to scramble to get jobs in order to maintain their work visa.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of people that were very seriously facing the risk of being deported because they just all of a sudden got fired.
Yeah.
And so at the very least, like whatever you think of AEW and Tony Khan or whatever, he at least so far has honored the duration of all of the contracts that he's put in place.
Right.
So people know that, and that, makes it a little bit more incentive, it could have incentivized them a bit more to want to go there, because even if you're having a shitty time or you're not making as much money as you might be making in WWE, you can at least sort of guarantee, at least for the time being, that, if it's a 2-year, 3-year, however long contract, you're at least going to see it through to the end.
Right, exactly. And I mean, listen, it can't be easy to, I mean, listen, people have adjustment periods moving from city to city. Imagine moving from another fucking country all the way to America, working this job, like you said, with the work visa, and then they fire you. I mean, if I remember correctly, the story we were talking about was formerly the Iconics were actually in afraid to be deported. I think that might have been them.
I forget exactly who it was, but there was a couple of different people.
Right.
And even, they fired Dakota Kai. She's Australian too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another one.
Well,
there was a couple of people that face that sort of problem.
Well, and Dakota Kai was one she said she's not going to re-sign the contract. So she might have already had other plans that we know of. Who knows? But listen, I know she wasn't fired, but there's a lot more to think about when someone from another country gets fired than just, oh my God, they lost a job. They could lose more than that. They spent a lot to get here. They sacrificed a lot to get here, and they could just as easily be sent back with nothing. So I don't know, man. It's a tough thing, but I definitely think she has every right to feel the way she does, and I don't think anything she's saying is wrong. And I think that a lot more people in WWE are going to feel the way she does. That I'm telling you, that sentence should stick with a lot of people right there. They don't give a shit, so why should I? Unfortunately, you get that in a lot of fucking companies. You're going to get a lot of people who will sit there and just, like I said, I'll take the check. I'll do what I got to do. Yes, 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 whatever, whatever, whatever. But some people are just going to go, no, I want more. I want to work. I want to even be happy at what I'm doing because I'm supposed to love this and not feel like I'm fucking going to work every day. And, that's just the way it is. And no one's ever going to feel safe at that company. No one should feel safe at that company after some of the people they've let go.
And I mean, we've had this conversation before about all this, but I think some of it, goes back to their issues with shit like Twitch streaming, things like OnlyFans, stuff like that, where they don't let you do that. They don't want you doing that. The talent base, rather, is only getting younger and younger. And stuff like streaming on Twitch and stuff like OnlyFans is important to them, however one might feel about it. And so you're getting the opportunity at one place where they don't let you do that versus another place where their pay is going to be competitive. It might not be as much, but it's going to be in that realm. And then you're going to have the opportunity for second revenue streams or just other avenues for you to be able to artistically express yourself if that's what you want to do. This is more freedom. It's more freedom. It's more lucrative deals that you can have and you can secure for yourself. If you have companies are willing to sponsor you or whatever, I guess you could probably work out some sponsorship deals in AEW versus like WWE. They had a fit because of the whole Lana Bang energy drink thing, where she took photos advertising for them and shit like that. It's just, it's more that you have more opportunities, like I said, financially, artistically, just kind of across the board. And I felt like for the long time there that it was going to cost them talent. And now the hens are coming to roost with that.
And, you know, I mean, the only one there that I could see WWE not wanting to be involved with is the OnlyFans. Let's face it, when everyone hears those two words, or one word together, however you want to say it, when you hear OnlyFans, you think of nudity. You think of, oh, this chick's on there fucking. Or naked. That's it. Either naked or fucking.
Oh, you certainly think that, which is sort of ironic because outside of one example, none of the female wrestlers that have been on there have done any of that. Like, certainly no fucking, but not even any nudity.
No.
So it's really just like a pyramid, like it's a pyramid scheme to fucking trick people.
Oh, you're getting photos that supposedly aren't going to be out on the internet, but if you look on the internet, they're all out there. There's OnlyFans leaks everywhere, folks. And no, I'm not telling you not to. You want to go join. I don't think you're a fucking simp for doing it. Everyone's a fan and wants to support people in different ways. I do hear that a lot. Oh, fucking simps out there fucking going to these girls. You know what? Everyone's a fan. Some of them are creepier than others. I get that. I mean, you know, some of them are sitting there with a fucking sock and a trench coat.
I mean, like, I feel like anybody should be allowed to spend their money in any way they choose. Like, if you're an adult and you're making money, then you can spend it however the fuck you want to. I do feel like the system overall is sort of manipulative and exploitive and, like, kind of capitalizes on, like, sad and lonely people. And it's sort of, it makes me feel kind of sad. But, I mean, it is what it is. It's their money and it's their prerogative to spend it however they want to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%. So, all right, enough of Toni Storm.
Yep.
She's looking great, man. I got to tell you, I didn't really care for her thinner, but she looks really good. She's almost like, she's getting like Scarlet Bordeaux hot. But speaking of just other things that we're going to get into, looks like A&E is bringing back the WWE Biography series. It's going to be starting July 10th. And they've got a pretty decent lineup of what they're going to be talking about. Do you remember these, Mark, when they used to do these back in the day? Not even back in the day, actually. Not that far. Yeah.
Well, they used to do a couple like back in the day too. They were like, I think there was one about like Andre the Giant. There was one about just wrestling as a whole that they did. You know, during the Monday Night Wars where everything was hot. But yeah, I remember a couple of the different pieces that AEW has done about wrestling.
Well, a lot of these are good. A couple of them I will not give a shit to watch. We've got one on The Undertaker, which I think, I mean, that one pretty much, that's going to be good. There's no doubt about it.
Sure.
One on Lex Luger. I've never been a Luger fan. I'm probably not going to give a shit about that one.
I mean, it depends on what you're there for, because there is a lot of salacious stuff that's happened around him.
I know, I know, but I don't know how deep they're going to get into that. It's just going to be a fluff piece on Lex Luger, which, whatever.
True.
Fuck that guy. DX, Degeneration X, Goldberg, which, why would anyone waste their fucking time? I mean, look, I know the guy. Forget it. Just, I'm not getting into it.
I would watch a 2-hour documentary on Goldberg if it was just written and narrated by Bobby Anthem. That is a moment I will never forget. If you listen to Dirty Dudes back in the day, you were treated to what was probably about an hour-long tangent that only felt like 5 minutes because it was so fun. Of just the various reasons why Bobby Anthem does not like Bill Goldberg. And I've very rarely heard somebody speak so passionately.
I've got to find that. I've got to find that and cut it out. I really do. After Goldberg, they're going to do Edge, Kurt Angle, which I think is going to be a great one. Depending on where they go with that one. Because there's so much they can get into there. You can really go down so many paths, even without getting into his drug addiction, which I'm sure they'll get into. You could go down so many paths with Kurt Angle. He's done so much in his career. One on the Bella Twins. which just, I mean, change the name to this to the Vapid Bitches. I'm sorry. These women are just fucking egotistical. Look at me. Look at me. Yuck. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be this misogynist asshole, but these two, oh my God, they're so annoying. WrestleMania 1. That'll be a great one right there. And Rey Mysterio. Glad Rey Mysterio's getting one.
I would be slightly, I'll never watch it, I'm not going to lie to you. But I'd be vaguely interested to see the Bella Twins one, just for the fucking fake martyrdom that's going to come of it. Of just like how hard their life was and all the roads and obstacles that they had to overcome. Of 8 years in the 5th grade.
Nikki Bella had to withstand John Cena's cock just to keep famous. Just to keep famous over those years. Even after hearing it was inside Amy Schumer in a movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would feel bad for Nikki Bella too, because I mean, you're not going to get that stench out.
No, that doesn't wash out. That does not wash out at all.
Not even Fabuloso can take care of that.
That's some good shit.
Mm-hmm. Fabuloso can get rid of a dead body. It can't get rid of that Schumer's thing, though.
Yeah, that's what Ray Liotta was using in the back of his car during Goodfellas there. Was spraying some Fabuloso back there.
The more you know.
Okay. Oh, this is getting rough tonight, Smark. Hey, you know what? Since we're on some wonderful topics, Smark, you had one that we weren't sure we were going to get to, but you know what? We've got time. Go for it.
We do have time. We've talked about injuries. We've talked about physical injuries. We've talked about a crushed spirit. I would argue that this is the most painful injury that we're going to talk about. It's a man burning his balls. So yes, if you're not interested by now, I don't know what else I can do for you, but stick around. Gangrel reflects on his iconic entrance. Gangrel's entrance with or without the Brood is one of the most iconic entrances from the Attitude Era. Coming up from the stage while encircled by flames. The entrance was often remembered and later recreated by Edge at SummerSlam 2021, ahead of his first match with Seth Rollins. Now, Gangrel is looking back on the first time he ever tried the entrance and how it resulted in, quote, fire coming up his crotch. The very first time I did it, we did a dry run. I get there and they came up with this entrance and it was really cool. Gangrel recalled during a recent appearance on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. They said, watch the lift. It has a shimmy in it. So you got to wait for it to shimmy and then walk. I'm like, yeah, cool. I did the dry rehearsal, and there was no smoke. The flames didn't seem as high. It wasn't dark, and there was nobody in the arena. So you were quite aware. When we went to go live and do it, the elevator comes up. I see all the people. You just get brought into that moment. I feel the shim. I feel the shim, but I thought the elevator stopped. So I turned to go walk off stage left, off the elevator and through the fire, and my foot went in between the lift and the stage. So it didn't come all the way up yet. So it just clamped down on my foot. Perfect timing. So I was stuck and I had flames up in my balls. I would like to read that one more time because that's exactly what he said, but I just didn't want that opportunity. Perfect timing. So I was stuck and I had flames up in my balls. He continued. That's my very first entrance and it crushed my foot. My foot was, I didn't tell anybody, my foot was black for 3 or 4 months. It was just horrible. That's why I ended up with that gangster limp. That's what he said. That's not something I added. Anyways, that I had coming down the ramp because my foot got caught and smashed. So I had that limp going down. I was still so damn happy that I didn't care that my foot was crushed. That's how the whole walk came about, the whole stagger step. I still walk like that today because I got the Jimmy leg. I don't know what that means. Now, but it started with my foot caught in that elevator because I didn't look coming up. I was sitting there literally and the fire was coming up in my crotch and I was pointing down calling, hey, hey. I felt like such an idiot, but it was taped so they cut. You didn't see it, but the pyro guys, they ribbed me for a year about that. Yeah, I mean, that's fair play. If somebody catches their balls on fire, you're probably going to make fun of them.
Yeah, that's pretty. I think the best statement in there is up in my balls.
Yeah, he had the fire up in his balls.
It's up in my balls, and Jimmy Leg, I think, are both two great possible show names. I don't know
what Jimmy Leg means, but I feel like it's offensive to someone. It's got a case of the old Jimmy Leg.
Yeah, it's probably offensive to someone. I'm just gonna sit with there and agree with you. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Not quite sure with the Jimmy Leg. I guess that's like a I don't know. Like I have a Slim Jim. That's how I like if I ever see someone locked out of their car, I can
There's a slight chance that he's referring to the character Jimmy from South Park, who was handicapped.
Maybe.
I mean, that's really the only thing that I could put two and two together. That Jimmy Leg is an interesting term, though. I like that. I don't know what it means, but I also like that he called it a gangster whip.
Maybe he meant Jiminy Cricket.
Perhaps
Jiminy. Maybe Jiminy's. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. My Jiminy Leg. It's like a cricket. I have no fucking clue, but I think they're funny and pretty bad to have flames going up in your balls.
Yep, you don't want flames going up in your balls.
I don't think I've ever had flames up in my balls before.
It does sound like just sort of a weird, like motivational quote, like to tell somebody that you're really jacked, that you're jazzed and you're amped. It's like I got the fire in my balls.
Actually, it sounds like a fucking something you would say to just in a fight. Like, motherfucker, you trying to get up in my balls? What the fuck?
That's true.
You getting up in my balls? Why are you up in my balls?
What's interesting about this is I feel like he was the only person at the time that ended up in that company that ended up with a burning sensation that didn't come from Sonny. So good for him.
That's up in your dick. Oh my God, it's up in my dick. It's up in my dick.
I got the fire in my dick.
I can't pee. It burns to pee.
That is pretty interesting, though, if you think about it, because that it was a taped show and they did that entrance for the first time. Because if it was a live show, and the very first time that they tried that entrance, like Gangrel sets his balls on fire and breaks his foot, and he's just like screaming in pain. That kills the entrance, that kills the gimmick, that changes a lot of people's careers.
I mean, well, that gimmick was badass, still is today.
Oh yeah, it's great. But if that would have happened live, and you would have heard him like begging for help from the fucking elevator operator because he's got the fire in his balls.
Oh, it'd be like fucking Shockmaster 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it would have been like if it was live. Shockmaster 2. But luckily it wasn't. And good shit right there.
It is pretty amazing, though, that like he said that he basically broke his foot and he like still went out there and wrestled and did his thing. But I was still more impressed that like he caught his balls on fire and he like still kept wrestling.
Oh, that is fucking pretty goddamn funny.
I was like, yeah, fuck Cody. This is a true man right here.
Yeah. I think it's pretty fucking cool, man. I don't know. But thank God he didn't burn his balls too bad. Because obviously anything up in your balls is awful. And I believe the show's name is going to be Up in Your Balls. Up in my balls.
Up in my balls.
Up in my balls. Why you up in my balls, bitch? See? Does sound tough, doesn't it?
Sure.
No, it doesn't. I'm joking. Anyway.
Hey, no.
As you noticed tonight on AEW, one person was obviously missing, and that was MJF. And that's because Smark, by the way, Edict alert.
Yes.
There has been an edict. There's been an edict issued to remove MJF from AEW promotional spots and commercials. This coming after his promo last week that we praised. Not just us. I think every podcast I listened to praised it. Even some of them that don't usually like MJF did praise this. But this comes right from the old F4W Online, Smark. The latest step in the MJF work shoot saga sees him removed from all the AEW promotional spots and commercials, which is what I just said. PW Insider reports that, according to a source at Warner Brothers Discovery, there was an edict issued late last week to remove MJF from all those spots that I just said going forward. They're taking him out of TBS, TNT spots, anywhere. All the intros, all that stuff. I love what they're doing here. I definitely think this is all a work. I really do. I don't think anything's going on here. But something I didn't send you that I found after I sent you everything was yeah, give me one sec here. There we go. The fact that New York Post put out an article, and this was the headline. I'm just going to read this to you real quick, Smark. AEW's handling of the volatile MJF story will show if he's better off in WWE. Can we just say this one more time? For the people in the back, I guess. If MJF goes to WWE, you will not be getting the MJF you are expecting in MJF. Think Johnny B. Bad. Vince hired Johnny B. Bad, but guess what? He couldn't use Johnny B. Bad. He didn't get Johnny B. Bad. We got fucking Mark Miro. That's it. That's what happened. He did not get the character he expected. If any of you think MJF is going to come in and be doing these sick burns that aren't fucking written for him, no, we will not get the MJF. I don't know why anybody wants him to go there. They should be praying he stays in AEW, as far as I'm concerned. I don't see where anyone could think he would ever be better off over in WWE. More money? Absolutely. But he's going to be fucking handcuffed twice over. Especially a character like MJF, who's controversial when it, not even in the ring, but out of the ring, he's even controversial. That will not happen in WWE. They have fucking moral conduct and shit, unlike AEW. So you're not going to get the same guy. Smark, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Well, from what I understand, more money equals more problems. That being said, yes, he would make more money, but I can't imagine that they would do much of anything positive with it. I mean, I think a lot of the people are just saying, as an example, that they've been doing right by Cody, but I mean, it's a case by case basis. It's like, yeah, he might be able to do well when he goes there because he's a talented person and he might be able to still succeed, still find his footing, but he wouldn't be the same character at all if he went there, because they write everything for everyone pretty much. There's a couple of exceptions, but yeah, it's not coming from him. It'd be coming from a writer. I don't think they're just going to give him carte blanche to go out and say and do whatever he wants, however he pleases. It's going to be an entirely different environment, an environment that we just got done reading at exhaustive length how stifling it can be. So it might happen, but it's not. If you're an MJF fan, if you're a WWE fan, I can see you wanting this, but if you are an MJF fan, I'm not sure why you would be clamoring for this, for sure.
I totally agree. And that's exactly what I'm saying, man. It's just, why would you want to do this when you know what's going to happen? You know WWE. There's no way you're going to get MJF. That MJF. No way. It's just not going to be the same thing. No way. I don't know why anyone would be clamoring for it. But I'm liking this whole thing, and I really am curious of how they're going to do this. And let's be honest with you, if WWE would have written this storyline, he would have been back there this week. A la CM Punk after he supposedly quit and took the title. Remember that?
Yep.
Next week, he's back in the fucking ring. Sorry.
I will say that if the whole, and I doubt that it is, but if the whole like Sasha Banks Naomi things work, they're at least using restraint on that because they haven't been back yet.
I don't think that one is.
No, I think they done got mad for real.
Yeah, I think MJF is just kind of brilliant and knows what he's doing here. And I think Tony Khan's working this one pretty good too. I don't know. I'm sure MJF is just wondering why Tony Khan is all up in his balls.
Probably.
Why you all up in my balls, Tony? Up in my balls, Tony.
Tony's eyes bugging out of his skull.
That is so the show name. Up in my balls.
Up in the balls.
I'm gonna put a Z on ball. I'm not really. I'm joking. I
don't know why, but when you said that, just Godsmoke just started playing in my head, just instinctively. I teleported back to 2000. It's like, fuck yeah, balls with a Z. Everything's extreme. Let's do it. Fucking Tony Hawk 2 for everyone.
I love that game.
I
like all the fucking Tony Hawk games, honestly.
Yes.
Me and my kids like playing them. Which one do I have? The Tony Hawk. We've talked about this before. I forget which one I got.
The new one is part 1 and 2. It's remake, I guess. I don't know. A remaster would be probably more appropriate.
I got the one before that one. The one that came up right before that. That's the one I've got. We just
Tony Hawk 5?
No, maybe before.
Tony Hawk 5 is not good.
No, that wasn't that. It wasn't that. Because you can do classic mode on mine and all that stuff. I forget which one I've got, but
I think it'll be 1 plus 2 because I have that one. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Maybe that's the one I've got. It's been a long time.
It's the most recent one that's out for PlayStation 4 and 5 and all that shit.
No, it's not the most recent. It's a couple years. It's a few behind.
There's one that's just Tony Hawk HD remake.
That might be what it is. It's been a while since I played it. I used to play the shit out of it, and that and Grand Theft. I still like playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I still play me some GTA.
Actually, just started. I downloaded an emulator the other day. And just started getting back to playing the old PlayStation 2 games.
There you go. I have 4 PS2s in my garage.
Some Def Jam Fight for New York. It's a good game. It's good.
And mine are all modded.
Hey, Scott, what's going on, brother?
Oh yeah, I could literally burn a game and play it on those.
Yeah, I could probably, if I could get my hands on some blank CDs, blank DVDs. Soon, yeah.
Yep, I've got all my PlayStations out there are modded. So, pretty cool shit, man. So, all right, I guess. Seriously, man, I think that's kind of the last thing we've got. Yeah.
Now that we're done admitting to crimes, let's go on to AEW.
It's a PS2. No one gives a fuck.
To be fair, actually, the emulators that I played, or the ROMs that I played, not the emulators, are actually games that I did own because I had Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York. I've actually, money has been spent on these games. I didn't steal them.
I used to play Def Jam Vendetta. I remember that one.
I'll fucking tell you what, if you can give me a remastered version of Def Jam Fight for New York for like PlayStation 4, I'd fucking buy it.
There you go. There's a few games I'm surprised at. I'm honestly, give me another fucking Warriors game because that was a PS2 game that I played the shit out of. I want a remaster of that fucking Warriors game.
Yeah, Warriors game was surprisingly good. It was made by Rockstar. It was at a time when a lot of the movie games were just god fucking awful.
Oh my god, they had some awful games. What was the other games that I loved? The other PS2 game I loved was called PsyOps. PSI-OP Ops, obviously Ops. Wasn't a very popular game, but that was another one that I loved. I actually paid money for that one because the copied one wouldn't save for some reason. It would play, but I couldn't save it. And it was one of those, those kind of games you want to save because you're doing all kinds of things in it. So that was a great one. All the Burnouts. I love racing games. All the Burnout games, I played those.
I played a couple of the Burnout games. I was not good at them. They were a lot of fun, but I was not good at them, and they made me very angry at times.
Oh, my kids won't even play racing games with me. They won't even bother. They know they're dead.
I've gotten substantially better at racing games when I've gotten older and realized that braking is actually a fundamental part of racing.
Yes, it is.
And not just like, it's for pussies. I'll just fucking bounce off the wall and then I'll get speed back later. Which, to be fair, that worked in like the first Gran Turismo. It was like, that worked for a while there. It was a viable strategy. But then after a while, the controls got more complex and you actually had to start braking.
Yep. The Turismo.
That's why I don't play racing games anymore, because I don't use brakes.
Yep.
Fucking balls to the wall, brother.
There you go. Gran Turismo was another one I played. There was a stunt game they came out with, like Stuntman or something.
It literally was called Stuntman. You are correct.
I loved that fucking game. Man, I could sit here and talk about PS2 games all fucking night, but I've got an emulator for Nintendo, the JNES. And I think I honestly have every game Nintendo ever made. And I love jumping back and playing the fucking old Donkey Kong and Dig Dug and Pitfall. And I love going back. And I'm talking, this is like the first, all fucking way back in the day. I love going back and playing that thing, man. This is the first Nintendo, Generation 1.
Yeah, because JNES is the original Nintendo, and then I think it's like ZNES or whatever, or ZSNES for the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then they have obviously the Nintendo 64 and this set and all the other ones.
Yeah, I jump on there, and it's even more fun to play on this fucking 49-inch TV I've got as a monitor sitting in front of me here. So looks good on here, man. But I do that. I play. Every now and then I just come in here when all the kids and everybody are gone, and I'll come in here and play some games, especially those old games. I love playing them. Fucking Dig Dug and Dig Dug. I was a fucking Dig Dug. I was addicted to that game when I was a kid, dude.
Yeah. We were talking about this on HIAC a little bit, but not like they were talking about HIAC. I was talking about it to them. But Wiz is kind of collects. He has Nintendo collection, Super Nintendo collection. I like that kind of stuff. I like the idea of collecting. I get weird about there like being a lot of things that take up space though.
Right.
So that's why I use the emulators and the ROMs and shit. I like watching the videos of the people that like go to the flea markets and shit and get the games. I just don't like, or I like seeing people's collection of stuff, but I don't like the stuff where they actually fucking go out and they snipe it from Goodwill and then they sell it on eBay for like 4 times what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
It's just like somebody actually could have bought that and enjoyed that, and you're not going to buy it and enjoy it. You're just going to be an asshole and sell it.
Yeah.
And then you act like they're fucking idiots and simpletons because they don't check every item that goes on eBay, or they don't check eBay for the worth of every item. Because it's like, oh, this game actually goes for fucking $500, but I bought it for $3. Ha ha ha! That guy's a moron. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's, and because Goodwill is there to help out fucking needy people. This is why they're selling it for $3 instead of fucking, to give it to some kid who can afford it, you dumb shit.
Yeah.
We give stuff to Goodwill all the time. I'll tell you what, though, they've stopped taking stuff lately. After COVID, we used to have those trailers that you could drop off at. Can't do it. The fire marshals took them all away during COVID.
It's a long story and it's for another time, but Goodwill actually kind of does a couple of shiesty things.
I know.
Because my mom worked there for a while, and there was some shit that was not the best that they did. But
all the charities do really awful things that none of us want to know about. All of them do. There's nothing you can do. But damn, dude, I think we're already getting into AEW, which I don't have a lot of notes for, I'll be honest with you. I got obviously notes for it, but not a ton. I did miss a little bit. My internet was shitty tonight. We've got storms. I'm going to
complain about the first half of the show, so that should take up some time.
Really? Well, fuck it, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your AEW review. Smart, do it, my man.
Here's me complaining about AEW.
I want to hear you complain. Let's hear this complain about the first hour AEW, bro. Do this. Let's hear it.
They did the Battle Royal.
Yes, they did.
And it was sort of I don't know, like I was hearing people say that like it should be because it's for the opportunity for a title match and not just a regular battle royal that they like to do. They ended up doing it casino battle royal style anyway, but it wasn't like just a regular battle royal. It was the opportunity for something more. So you would think that there'd be more higher profile people in the match. And my hope for that was extinguished when I saw that one of the first people out was Tony Nese.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, well, this is not what I had hoped for.
But he didn't get an entrance. Does that mean anything to you?
was exactly is the point of why Tony Nese should not be in this match, because he wasn't even worth an entrance. Although I will say props to Chris Jericho, because I saw Hager out there and I was like, yeah, Hager belongs, but get Tony Nese the fuck out of here. Like, Hager actually kind of feels like a star. Like, I don't think he's going to win any singles titles anytime soon, but he just, I guess because he's a legitimate tough guy in a sense, because he does have the Bellator experience. Like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'll buy him being a legitimate threat to win this match, even though it's not going to happen. But, you know, fair enough, whatever.
So, I mean, we had more than Tony Nese. I mean, we had Lance Archer in the ring, Daniel Garcia. We had Darby Allin and Eddie Kingston in this match. Phoenix, Keith Lee, Strickland, Hobbs, Red Dragon, Take a Shitta. I'm joking. I know I said it wrong. Leave me alone. I'm joking. John Silver and the Joker Smark, which was Andrade.
Well, that was disappointing too, because I like Andrade, but like he's already there. Like, people thought that it might be a surprise, a new signing, or maybe just even, you know, you use like a New Japan guy or whatever. There was a couple of different opportunities I saw, and I mean, it's not Tony Khan's fault that the internet gets its hopes up for nothing, but because he didn't say that it was going to be this big, huge deal. But, you know, having a Joker yard leading up to something I was seeing that Gargano was trending on Twitter. Some people, I guess, were kind of hoping that it was going to be him, but it was Andrade. That was it. And like, Andrade is cool, but he, like I said, he works there. Like, we already know that Andrade is there. It was no big surprise. It felt kind of anticlimactic. I was disappointed in that. You had Eddie Kingston was eliminated relatively early into the match. That was disappointing. So it was just like, it got to the point where there was like a couple people left in the ring, and I like realized that I really didn't give a shit about any of these people. And I was just like, that's a bad omen.
Yeah, I mean, the Final Four wasn't that great. O'Reilly did end up taking this match. I think it was O'Reilly, Yuta. I forget who was left. I even Keith Lee got knocked out.
That was actually a good spot. Keith Lee getting
by Swerve. His own partner took him out, which was pretty. The look on Swerve's face was like, "But you knew I was a snake." That's basically the look I got out of Swerve.
He's really good at doing that. There's a certain quality about him, and I don't know what it is. I think it's the way that his grill is like done. I don't know. He just has a certain sinister quality about his body language. He's able to like connect, like convey this like sinister body language about him, where it's just like, yeah, this guy's going to. It's like that shit in like an action movie where it's like the guy befriends the hero, but you know that he's going to turn on him. Right. And then he turns on him, and it's like, yeah, you saw that coming. Everybody did. He just has that energy about him that he's just like this villain that's going to like betray you in the second act of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. The look I got was just, you knew I was a snake. You still got involved with me, you idiot. Okay.
Keith Lee just like looking like the angry dad. His like fucking son came home like 2 hours after curfew. That was actually a cool spot. I like that part. That was cool. And then he got eliminated. Swerve ended up getting eliminated too. The last, I don't remember who the final four was, but I remember the last three were O'Reilly, Wheeler Yuta, and Andrade. It was just like I like Andrade, but otherwise. Nah.
You know, it's funny you brought up the whole father-son thing, and I actually had a note that said Darby and Kingston eventually start fighting like father and son. They were like slapping each other, barely hitting each other like a father and son would do to not hurt each other. And I was like, this is fucking bad, dude. This is bad. But we really did don't
like that guy that they're trying to push. You mentioned him. You made fun of his name, and I have a hard time pronouncing his actual name. Old Takeshita.
I believe it's Takeshita.
Yeah, Takeshita. But it was just funny because he came out and the crowd was dead. And like somebody on commentary had to be like, listen to the ovation this kid's getting. He's going to be a huge star. It's like, you realize like we could hear you, right?
We have
like
ears.
We all have speakers on our televisions or headphones or some sort of auditory device.
Yes. I mean, not all of us, but most of us. You're correct.
I'm sure that Tony Khan backstage was ecstatic and screaming, but the fans, they seemed pretty dead for the majority of that match. They were chanting for Yuta for a while there towards the end, but I was just disappointed because it just seemed like there was a lot of people who were non-threats in that match, and then the match ended, instead of it being like a viable competitor for Moxley, there was this sort of O'Reilly won, and you knew that O'Reilly was going to lose, and it was it wasn't anybody that like Moxley had history with, or somebody that would provide an interesting challenge for him. It was Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I just remember what you said. Instead of being a vile competitor for Moxley, it was O'Reilly.
Well, like we said, and I mean, it's a totally fair thing to say. Everybody in that group is interchangeable.
I totally agree. I actually thought this the main event. We'll just go right to the main event. I actually thought it was a really good match between the two of them. I think they actually told a good story. They were just beating the shit out of each other. Neither one of them wanted to quit. But I think it was a good match between them.
Oh yeah, he's a great wrestler. Like he's in ring, he's great. But
that was hilarious the way you were like about to pay him a compliment, and then you're like, I thought we were gonna get a viable guy, but then it was just O'Reilly. It was just that guy named after a car parts store. That's all. O'Reilly.
I don't even think it's his fault. Now that I think about it, but like. Because we used to review NXT, and the whole, the whole Cool Kyle thing just killed me on him.
Well,
that was such a terrible gimmick, and I know that it's not his fault. It's not AEW's fault, but it took fucking, just as an example, it took Matt Cardona a long time before I gave a shit about him, and after the whole Zack Ryder debacle. And it happens. That's exactly what we were talking about being careful how you're portrayed on television.
I
and
know.
Getting the fuck out of there before they ruin you.
I know, but I see, and I was a fan of Zack Ryder, especially during the whole.
It was too, but then towards the end, it was just like.
Oh, dude, they had the whole.
Good. He just came out and he looked like a bitch every week.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, you had people talking about the Ryder Revolution when he was over, when they were going to New York. They were going to put this guy over. And I'm sitting there going, you know what happens when you go to your hometown, people? I mean, call Jim Ross. He'll fucking tell you. He'll tell you what happens when you go to your hometown. Shit does not end up well. You end up dancing like a moron in front of your fucking wife and kids. So
yeah, apparently they were in Chicago for Hell in the Cell, and they had Ali lose. They made a big deal that he was in his hometown.
Yeah. They of course they're gonna fuck with Ali. This guy was on Twitter being honest, having feelings, and dare I say, he had opinions. I know you're not allowed to have opinions anymore, Smark, and I apologize. Please don't leave. All right. Anyway.
But yeah, okay, so complaint number 2, I guess.
Your no selling tonight is fucking epic.
Thank you. Well, it's part of just the idea of, like, I was just trying to, I don't want to keep you for too long.
Okay.
Because, like, the last couple of shows have been, like, 3 hours. I was like, before we go too far down this rabbit hole. And also, I'll pull back the curtain a little bit and say that I really have to pee. But, anyways, the second complaint, they have this big announcement that they're just jazzed to tell you about, and it's like, there's a new title coming.
Yep.
AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right. And for the last before 3 years before the company started, people have been talking about the trios titles.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, that's cool. They're going to be doing the trios titles. Nope. They're doing the European title, essentially. They're not calling it the European title, but 47 times this show, they announced that they're the #1 wrestling promotion in Great Britain. They're calling it the All-Atlantic title.
Yes, the All-Atlantic Championship. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, like, which countries are you excluding that doesn't fall under the purview of the world title?
Any countries near the Pacific?
All right, cool. So they're like, if you win this belt, you don't get to, like, claim any sort of superiority in the mall.
I'm very geographically challenged, so I'm not sure if I got that right. But
because basically it seemed like it was a U.S. title plus Europe. So it seemed like a very weird, like, I don't understand the All-Atlantic champion. It's just a weird region to be champion over. Like, it's not even like North American Championship or like your international championship or just like all countries that aren't in the U.S. Championship or just anything else. This is, oh, you're the All Atlantic champion. So that was my problem. Is just like, do we really need another fucking mid-card belt? Like, you already have the TNT belt. And the more belts that you introduce, the less it seems like it matters. Because then if, like, you know, people are complaining about the FTW belt too, but that's not like a real belt. It's just something for a storyline. It's a MacGuffin. But other than that, like, just, do you really need 3 belts? Because then after a while, it gets to the point, like how WWE, where it's like, I watched it on a week in, week out basis while we were talking about it, and I would be hard pressed if I could tell you at any given time who the like Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion was. All all the belts that go fucking down the line. Like, they have so many belts that it's hard to keep track of, and that's the territory that we're about to embark on with AEW. Because I feel like after a while they're going to need a women's version of this too. So then you have 3 women's championships, 3 men's championships. You're about to have the trios title eventually. You have the tag team belt. It just becomes a lot. And it's another fucking tournament on the heels of them just getting done with the Owen Hart tournament.
Would the women's be the All Catlantic Championship?
There you go. Have Miss Kitty come out and introduce it. The All Catlantic Championship.
I mean, they could have called it the All Valley Championship. But Karate Kid might have had a problem with that.
The fucking OnlyFans Championship.
The OnlyFans.
Straight up, you could have, there's a lot of women now. You could have it fucking defend it. You could have Scarlett, against fucking Toni Storm.
Ooh.
Get Chelsea Green in there. I know she's with Impact, but like, you could probably figure out a way to get out of that contract.
Ooh, I think they burnt that bridge, my friend. I think they might have set that bridge on fire, sir.
I'm just saying, there's probably a way that you could, like, I don't feel like Impact contracts hold up in court. Let's just test it out and see what happens.
WWE contracts don't fucking hold up in court either, dude.
True. So there you go. So you just have I kind of think the OnlyFans title would be a cool idea.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Bring back Nia Jax to hurt people. Mercedes Martinez is apparently doing OnlyFans. We didn't talk about that last week. Noelle Foley's doing it. We didn't talk about that last week too. So there you go. There's your OnlyFans updates.
Dude, I've never seen. I'm sorry. This is where I'm gonna actually, go. I have never seen people. She's not even showing anything, Noelle Foley, and I have seen people are freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, well, I kind of get it.
I mean, like, it's fine.
She's a grown fucking woman. Let her do what she wants.
She is. I'm sure Mick Foley is just absolutely ecstatic that she's doing this. Before you know it, it's going to be her and fucking Frank the Clown doing fucking, with Sonny and her boyfriend.
Yeah, but she doesn't do. I don't think he minds because she doesn't do anything, and she's not going to do anything. Like, if you're talking about paying money for nothing, that's a prime. I've seen some of the photos.
Well,
it's nothing. Like, it's basically the sort of fucking Instagram type photos. Instead of the swimsuit, it might be a little bit of lingerie, but it's like nothing provocative. And it's kind of funny though, because it's like, all right, he's talked about for the longest time about how he's friends with porn stars and like how he doesn't think porn's bad, porn stars should be vilified and evil. It's like, all right, here's a real fucking opportunity for you to practice what you preach. Because your daughter's on OnlyFans. Enjoy that.
There you go. And as Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits did say, money for nothing. And the chicks for free. Don't know why I said that. You just said money for nothing, and I thought of that song.
I actually didn't say money for nothing.
I thought you did. You said
I swear to you, I did not.
You said talk about money for nothing.
Anything. She's doing nothing.
You said talk about money for nothing. I swear you did.
I don't recall saying that, but I will believe you because of.
If I had a rewind button, this show would be rewinding. God, let's make sure now at this point I want to make sure I'm recording. I'm double checking. Yes, we're recording. God damn it. Okay.
Right. We got to get Dirk to put on a referee uniform. We're doing like a challenge. Like, I don't know. There's a flag on this play. I don't think I said that.
Yeah, I could have sworn you said talk about money for nothing. I thought you said it. If anyone in the chat heard him say it, please, because it may be coming up in just a few seconds, actually, with the lag.
And if anybody would like to be a stenographer.
There you go. My wife actually went to college for that. Seriously, she did. We, that little stenographer machine of hers, we sold on eBay for like $900.
I would imagine that would be something that'd be expensive.
Obviously it was. I just put it on eBay one day and I'm like, babe, 900? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because like, it's one of those things that's like, it's a specialty item. Like if you offered me $1 million and you were like, find me where I could get a stenographer machine, I would have no fucking idea because I don't even know what they're called. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to begin the Google search.
Yeah. But I mean, my wife can type so fast. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But she knows all the, stenographer's code and all that stuff. And because they don't type words. It's not word for word. It's like notes and code and
Shorthand.
shorthand and all that shit. She knows all that. And it's really weird, but she can, she actually went to school for it and had a machine for a while, but we sold it because she doesn't want to work. But anyway, let's, anyway, I think we're good with Noel Foley. And Buddy Matthews versus Pac had a match that was a really, really good match. It was basically
It was part of the tournament for the AEW European Championship, which is what I'm going to call it from now on. And that was my gripe 3, was how are you going to have a European title and not have D'Lo Brown compete for it?
It just
He
started.
might still be with Impact, but I doubt it. Who knows?
It just started, Smark. I dubbed this Battle of the Short Jack Dudes. That's what I dubbed this match. Battle of the Short Jacked Dudes. They were all up in my balls.
We do enjoy that phrase, yes.
Anyway, Pac did win that match. It was a good match. I do have to say, I believe Pac won that match.
Pac won that.
Yeah, it really was a good match between these two guys, which didn't surprise me. These guys basically are almost fucking mirror images of each other. They have the same build, almost the same style. I thought it was just a good match between them. It was a very I don't know. These two worked very well together. I'll put it. They gelled. How's that sound?
See, Mojo has a suggestion.
Uh-huh.
The BC Boys Intergalactic title. See, there you go. I mean, that's bigger than the world. That's a fucking across the galaxy. Multiple galaxies.
I think I would actually go with the Intergalactic Planetary title.
Yeah, that would be like the regulatory body is the Intergalactic Planetary Commission.
Planetary, not Tory. Territory?
That'd be a pretty cool match if you had somebody fight at a fucking planetarium, like while the show's going on.
Capital or Capitol?
The guy from Tough Enough? Matt Capitol?
I don't know. What are you talking about now? I think we lost each other here. This is like
no, his name's Matt Capitelli, but I was doing something.
This is like that bad Geico commercial. Anyway.
You're going to have to be more specific, friend.
I know, otherwise known to all of them. Sorry.
Like, the fucking Liberty Mutual commercials are the worst goddamn things in the world. And they interrupt all my YouTube videos and all of my Spotify playlists. And I hate them. And I hate that emu. And I hate the guy with the emu. Fuck both of them.
I hate that fucking failed actor dude. Liberty Bibberty. It's like, dude, stop with your pretty looks. You can get a better job. Fuck off.
Okay. Yeah. Fucking hawking car insurance.
Jesus Christ, you with your fucking gorgeous hair and fucking chiseled looks. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Got my wife all hot. Get out of here.
That's a very weird edition of like the one free pass game. It's like, all right, my pick is Jennifer Aniston. Your pick is the guy from the Liberty Mutual commercial. That seems entirely too likely to happen. You're gonna have to fucking shoot higher. I can't allow you to have that be your one pass.
Ain't letting that dude up in my balls. Tell you that right now. Okay.
Like, you better be glad you have insurance, motherfucker. You better be good for insurance.
Limu emu. God, I hate those.
Huh?
I do. But anyway, Eddie Kingston sets up a match for Rampage. Now, I gotta be honest, Mark, I missed the beginning of this, but I know it had to do with the Battle Royal.
He got very angry that they only gave him 1 minute to cut a promo. but then he said that he didn't need 1 minute. And basically he was saying he said he couldn't remember like 2.0's names. So he just called them 2.0. And he said that he hates not Ricky Stark's other guy, Daniel Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I think they're the same person. They're not. They wrestled this in the Royal Rumble, Battle Royal, not the Royal Rumble.
Right, exactly. I got you.
Anyway, yeah, but so he cut a promo basically saying how much he hates Jericho Appreciation Society, and it's not over. He's going to be coming for him. He challenged Hager for a match at Rampage, and then he yelled at the camera operator for telling him to wrap it up and brought him in front of the camera and started shouting at him, as a face does. That is what I love about Eddie Kingston, is like the more that he does unface-like things, the more he gets over as a face. It is basically the closest you're going to get to modern Stone Cold. It's just the more that he acts like an asshole from New York, the more people like him.
But an asshole from New York is a babyface from New York.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's synonymous, I believe, Smart. You know, one
yeah,
and,
I mean, there's
one and
nobody
the same.
who I want to root for more, but then as a archetype for person, there's nobody that I want to hang out with less. Not Eddie Kingston specifically, but just a loudmouth person from New York. It's like it's one of the more unlikable, like, character traits that you could find in somebody, but he makes it work.
I mean, you switched that to Boston, and you got half my family in there.
Yeah, but when I think asshole from Boston, I think Bill Burr, so it's like a sort of a different.
Ooh, my family's not very Bill Burrish.
And you've told me this multiple times, and I will not accept that. Is why I keep going to that well, because I hear it, but I refuse to accept it.
My family.
Because I believe one time you were telling a story about your grandmother, and I was like, "Is she like Bill Burr?" And you're like, "No, she's not." Moving on.
No.
I was like, all right.
No.
Yeah, she is.
No. Well, when I do the elderly Jewish person, it's basically just me impersonating my grandmother.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. So, and it really is. But anyway, we get Trent in the ring after that, and he's calling out FTR after being attacked by Cobb and Khan, Great O'Khan, a few weeks ago. Or a couple of weeks ago, actually.
You know, when you say it like that, I just realized the sort of hills and valleys, the tale of two extremes promo-wise. We went from Eddie Kingston to Trent Barrett.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Complaint number 4. Let's move on. I didn't realize it at the time, but now that you put it that way.
And that's on the list now. Okay, I got you. We're going to add that one to the list. You're right, we did, though. But I'll tell you, we did get a little surprise on this show, which I'm incredibly shocked that Tony Khan didn't say he had an announcement for or anything, or because this, not only Tony Khan, but TBS itself did come out and say that they do not want as many surprises. So
that would have been great if Tony Khan came out, eyes bugging out of his skull. It's like, I got a huge announcement, and then Will Ospreay comes out and calls him a nerd, and they just go back to his locker room.
Will Ocean Spray.
Piss off, you wanker.
Okay.
Toss off somewhere.
The thing is, Will Ospreay did come out. Suddenly he makes a little a circle motion. I wasn't sure if he was doing a little rodeo dance. I actually thought he was doing a little rodeo dance for a minute there. I'm like, oh shit, he's about to get fucking funky with it. But no, he was telling people to surround the ring, and United Empire surrounded the ring, beat him down, and we got chants of holy shit.
Yeah.
So I think this went over well with the crowd, but it's been a while since Tony has let something be a big surprise like that. And I think it was cool. I think that's going to be a big talking point tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to see what he does at that Forbidden shows. I mean, he is a really big deal. He's one of the biggest names that you can get in the New Japan, under that umbrella, their talent tree.
And literally just last week, he was kind of in the news a little bit for saying the comment that he has no desire to go to WWE, which some people gave him shit for. Some people said, I don't blame the guy. I'll say this about that. I see where he's coming from. He has no desire to go to a place we just heard Toni Storm complain about. Or literally, that's it.
I mean, if you want to, like, you know, if the logic is that MJF can go to WWE because of how they're treating Cody, then Will Ospreay shouldn't go to WWE because how they treat Ricochet, because he's basically just Ricochet but with better, and not that that's that hard, but with better promos.
No, absolutely. But I mean, and you know, the way they treat Cody and the way they treated an MJF coming up. Let's be completely honest here. MJF doesn't have a father with a lineage that Cody Rhodes has. MJF doesn't have a brother with the lineage that Cody Rhodes has. MJF has nothing but a lineage of a fucking cousin who does not have a great reputation. Rob Feinstein. Yeah. That's all he has. The Cody situation, Cody was in WWE. Cody has a history with people in WWE. MJF does not. They will not treat an MJF the way they're treating a returning Cody Rhodes. It will not happen. Everyone, calm the fuck down with MJF going to WWE. You do not want it. Be careful what you fucking ask for, because when you fucking get it, you're not going to be happy. I'm telling you now. Go ahead, Spark.
That would actually be a very meta gimmick, but I would be all for it. If you had MJF debut in the WWE and he just, like, the first night that he's there, he's just stealing shit out of the locker room so that he could sell it online.
Oh, I would the best thing he could do is go in and be like extremely WWE, completely scripted. That would be a great thing.
Like, you play off the Feinstein reputation.
Well,
just have him steal shit from the locker room to sell online. You have a promo where he's like at a funeral for a deceased wrestler and he's trying to get his wife to like sign off on these 8x10s that he forged a signature on.
Have Chris Hansen sitting outside.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just leave it at that. It was going there.
How old are you, Dominic?
It was like, going there anyway. Would you like some cookies by any chance?
His first feud is with Rey Mysterio because he's trying to hit Dominic. I like this idea.
First feud's with Dominic. Anyway,
I'll pretend you said it.
Let's just leave this one alone. Let's just move on here. Hangman Adam Page versus David Finlay Smark. I have to admit, bad wrestling fan. I will slap myself on the hand if you want me to. I know nothing about this David Finlay.
This old David Finlay. I mean, they talked about it in commentary, but he's obviously Fit Finlay's son. He was in New Japan. He teamed with Juice Robinson. They were Finn Juice. I think they won a tag belts a time or two. Juice Robinson's Bullet Club now, so he's sort of on his own singles wise. I don't really know what they're doing with him at the moment because I haven't been keeping super abreast with the New Japan storylines. They were doing the Best of the Super Juniors tournament for the last couple of weeks, so they haven't really been focusing on much outside of that as far as I can tell. But yeah, that's basically it. Fit Finlay's son, sort of a perennial kind of mid-card guy for the moment. He was in the tag team.
I did notice he had the shillelagh.
He did.
Yes, he did. So I kind of did. Cole was on commentary for this match. Paige did win this match, but that was definitely an entertaining match. I'm not going to fucking sit here and bullshit. Paige grabs a mic afterwards. He's complaining, I'm not in the title picture. And I hate to say, but I think if anyone has a right to make that complaint, it's the guy that was just the champion. He should be bitching he's not in the title picture. And he says, well, fuck it. I'll go for the IWGP championship at Forbidden Door.
There you go.
And Cole gets up and he's like, no, I want to go for that title. I've already got a title, but I want another title.
It was weird that he started doing that during his promo.
I'm slightly paraphrasing, obviously.
With sticking his tongue out, making blueberry type noises, raspberry type noises.
Listen, I have 3 kids, so
just because he's of a shorter stature does not mean that he stomped his foot through a Lego across the room and then ran. That's not exactly how the promo went. He said that he felt like he should be IWTP champion because he's Adam Cole, baby. You understand?
I'm sorry, dude. This whole thing just felt like it did feel childish, which is why I was just acting childish. Was this not childish to you?
Maybe a little bit.
Think about this. Oh, you want that? Me, I want that. Now that you're going for it, I want it. I didn't want it before you want it. Now I want it. It's like, all right, okay, so you go to a restaurant, one of the kids orders fries, suddenly they all want fries. It's like, well, you didn't want fries before. Well, now I want fries. Well, good, have some of his fries. Well, I don't want him to have any of my fries. Well, god damn it. Now I got to fucking order fries and spend more money. Maybe it's not like that. But anyway. Okay. Good match.
Yes.
With a bunch of bitching and whining at the end. And I got to tell you, I think it went from good match to... And I am not blaming this on our women's champion, I'll be honest with you.
Jim Ross immediately shit on this match. And I'm not even laughing because it's women. I'm just laughing because he just openly shit on the match as it was happening. It could have been anybody else, and I would have still laughed at it. Because he's literally said on commentary, Tony, how styles make matches, styles make fights. This isn't one of those times.
Well, I mean,
you say that you don't like this match without openly saying you don't like this match.
I'll flat out say this match was not good. I got to tell you, Marina Shafir looks as if she's gotten worse. She looks like she's trying this new kind of style, which is not working for her. I know she's a former MMA girl. I know she is, which you would think this would work for her, but everything she does, slow motion, like everything is so choreographed. Thunder Rosa almost looked like she had like she was in the fucking Matrix waiting for her half the fucking time. Just something about this match did not look right, and it was not Rosa.
It was a little awkward. I mean, they've been having, I don't know if they still have her do this, but I know the couple of matches I've seen her wrestle, like early when she first got there on Dark and whatnot, she would just murder people. And she was just wrestling this sort of like MMA style badass, couple strikes, couple kicks, a submission, and that's it. And I guess she was still kind of trying to wrestle that way. And then you sort of it got to the point where like Rosa was trying to like kind of emulate that. And yes, she had a MMA fight too, because they covered that during her time with NWA.
Right.
It was like they showed a bunch of montages of her training for it and whatnot. But that's not really her forte. She's a wrestler, and then they had Marina trying to do the MMA thing, and it was just sort of awkward and clunky, and it just didn't come off well. They didn't have very good chemistry, I guess.
No, it didn't. And I do realize I did actually skip a match, and we'll go back to. I didn't skip a match. I skipped a segment, and that's my fault. I accidentally put two segments together here. But yeah, I totally agree. It just wasn't good. And then after the match, the beatdown that Marina gave Rosa was fine. But it was like, well, why couldn't you do that during the match? And then Toni Storm came out for the save, looking hot as hell. But Toni Storm did pick that title up and give it a look. The crowd cheered. I think we all see where this is going. Rosa versus Toni Storm down the road. Yeah. We had Tony Schiavone out there. Tony Schiavone was barely at the fucking booth tonight. Tony Schiavone was just running like a madman, like he has been for a while. He's down there with Wardlow. Wardlow basically was like, look, I know you guys expect me to go for the championship tonight, but the only person I'm going to pin is CM Punk, not this Literally, he just shit on the interim championship. You realize that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because everybody was wondering why he wasn't in the Battle Royal. People were wondering even before why he didn't just get an opportunity to compete for the championship because he was undefeated. Mm-hmm. And they were like, all right, well, he's going to explain that. And he explained that by saying that he doesn't want any of this interim title bullshit. So it's like, all right, well, I guess that works as an explanation.
But literally, you're shitting on. He basically said, I'm not pinning anyone but our real champion, CM Punk. I mean, dude, I don't see that as good. Whoever wrote that might have wanted to rethink that statement and make it not literally seem like he's shitting on whoever this interim champion is going to be. More than likely, in my opinion, it's going to be Moxley, but that's that's going to come about very soon. Wardlow did say though he wants to go for the TNT title. He said he already had it once, wants to get it back again, which I remember the run he had wasn't bad. I think it would be a little different now with him being on his own. Scorpio Sky immediately walked out Smark. Like he was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Lambert and Ethan Page stop him though. Wardlow's like, bitch, I'm ready. Let's do this. And then speaking of bitches, we see Mark Sterling get on the screen.
Yep. That's his role. That's not even making fun of him. His role is just to be a bitch.
It is. And he is bitching about the class action lawsuit that he was talking about last week with the security guards. And he said he gives Wardlow an ultimatum. He can either, see him in court, or he has to wrestle 20 security guards. And I believe he said in elimination style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally, right after he said 20 security guards, my internet just went for about 3 minutes. Luckily, there was a little break after this, because when I came back, it was still on break. But so obviously, we know what Wardlow's going to take on 20 security guards, and I think they said that was going to be next week on Dynamite. Didn't they? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I believe they did.
I think they may have. If I'm wrong about that, forgive me.
I hate to do this to you, but I really have to go pee.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. And really, that's pretty much it. We pretty much talked about the main event. I'll go ahead and put the main event over one more time. Kyle O'Reilly versus John Moxley. I thought this was a great match. I thought these guys had a great little story that they told in this match. They were just beating the shit out of each other. Neither one wanted to give up. It basically was a story they were telling. They didn't want to fucking... Yeah, Moxley couldn't fucking put this guy away. And, O'Reilly didn't want to give up. And I thought the story they told from this main event was really, really great. I really liked it, and I thought it was interesting. That was a good match, and I thought it was right that Moxley won. I don't think we have anything else to get into, but I thought AEW tonight was pretty good. Obviously, Smark didn't like the first hour, as he was complaining about it a little bit, and I see where his complaints are coming from. So but I think that is about it. So as soon as Smark gets back in here, we'll go ahead and wrap this show up. But definitely was a pretty good episode, though, of AEW tonight. I definitely enjoyed that. So, and by the way, real quick, while Smark is not here, I'll remind everybody, once again, I'll remind him, next week we will not be here. I will be teaching Cub Scouts how to shoot BB guns. I have to do that until that's going to start. See, that I would do this, but I'm not even going to leave the venue we're going to be at until 9 o'clock, which is when we usually start the show 15 minutes later. And then I would need to drive home, about a 40-minute ride. And then it's impossible for me to come back here and do a show. I'm going to be there until 9 o'clock at night. And it's just not going to be the right thing to do. And it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Otherwise, I would just say, let's just do it on Thursday, or let's just do it on even a Friday. But it's just not going to be anything conducive for me to do. So definitely not going to be here next week. Now, Hollywood Hangout will definitely be back. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm thinking of doing a show this week. I did have a show in mind. Let me go ahead and grab this real quick and get the name. He's been in a bunch of movies. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Andrew Briniarski. I'm actually going to make sure I'm pronouncing that name correctly. You have seen this guy. He's a big jacked guy. He's been in a lot of football movies. He was in American History X's Knocko. been wanting to focus on this guy for a while. I think I'm going to go ahead and shine the spotlight on him for Hollywood Hangout this weekend. Matter of fact, I will do that. I'll put a spotlight on that on Andrew, and that's going to be a good one. If you don't know who he is, you can go ahead and check him out. Like I said, he's been pretty much every football movie. He's got a spot in it, and he was also, like I said, Nako in American History X with Edward Norton. So that's what I'll do this weekend. Smark is back, I see. So, Smark, I got nothing else. What about you, man?
I can tell you the things that I've seen, man, but I don't know where to lead as for the show later. So I pretty much have everything that I need covered. So,
all right, there you go. There you go.
I'll tell you one anyway. He was in Street Fighter, but you don't know who in Street Fighter, so stay tuned Saturday to find out more.
Ryu. Oh, okay. All right.
Of course, yes, he was Chun-Li. It was very controversial decision.
Chun-Li was Bloodsport, I hate to tell you.
No, Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
Is that
She's
the name?
The sexy.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's Chun-Li. Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
She wore the, she had like the fucking things on her wrist. She had the, like, her hair was done in like the pigtails. And she had like the blue outfit on, and it would, like, when she won, it would like the wind would blow it up, and you'd see a little bit of bleed.
But I saw a video today that I'm shocked about. They still have Tekken tournaments, like real tournaments for money with people. Just amazed. Video games are amazing now, dude. It's just amazing. I'm baffled by what's happening with video games. I used to be told I was wasting my time, but god damn it, I could have been making money. Who knows? Anyway, that's all I got, and I think that's all Smark has, which means I think we can go ahead and turn on the ending of this show and wrap it up. Which means I get to talk about the high marks. That's right. I get to talk about Cheeseman, Mojo, and G Wiz. That's right. They are on every Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to check them out on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network. Do not forget to do that. And check them out on YouTube too. Go for it. Have fun. Enjoy. You won't be disappointed. And of course, you got Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. They're the Inhumans. They are on the Inhuman Experience. Check them out. Apple, Google, anywhere you get podcasts from. And while you're looking for those podcasts, check out Eric, Doug, and Daniel on the Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. And you can also check them out on Blog Talk Radio, EUP Network, Everything Unscripted Wrestling Network. There you go. Or Everything Unscripted Podcast Network, EUP. And of course, Stephen Milan. Check him out over there, reviewing movies, letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. And one more time, just to remind you, like I didn't just say it 5 fucking minutes ago, I will be doing Hollywood Hangout this Saturday. And Andrew Briniarski, I believe is his name. I'll double check that pronunciation. Smart, let it go.
You got it. Cheese on Sports returns in August. And in the meantime, you want to listen to Mojo Enters, Most Dastardly Show, wherever you get your gosh darn podcasts. And last but certainly never ever least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, Yuck Nasty. You have listened to our voices for about 2 hours now, so treat yourself to the sultry tones of one Bobby Anthem. That's your reward for sticking it through to the very end. Go ahead and subscribe. You got 16 episodes season 1. They're up to 10, I believe, season 2. So you got yourself all the episodes you could possibly want and hope for, but there's always new episodes rolling down the pipeline, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a new episode.
There you go. See, like Smart said, you listen to us for 2 hours. We got you all hot. Now go ahead and listen to Bobby and finish it off.
I'm sure you know about this by now because you guys talk sometimes, but he used to do the R&B show, like the Magic Hour, whatever they call it, at his local station, but it was like The Quiet Storm. And like, man, has there ever been more of a fucking just job tailor-made for somebody
Oh.
than just Bobby Anthem like talking to people while they're fucking? Like, it's just it sets the tone perfectly.
Oh, there are probably so many dildos out there named Bobby Anthem still that he doesn't even know about. Okay.
Well, they're the ones that specifically like sync to your MP3 players, so it's like literally an anthem with Anthem. You could listen to his music. He's got a new song out with Burbs called "Kiss My Ass." You can play that while you diddle yourself. It just there's all kinds of opportunities. You know, have some fun. Be
I actually did hear that. I did hear that actually. Pretty good shit, man. Anything Bobby puts his hands on is gonna be fucking good stuff, man. So, all right. I think we're wrapping it up, man. Wow. Nice short show tonight for us. It's a short show. So everybody, appreciate it. Thank you guys for all joining us in the chat room. Thank you guys for downloading. Thank you guys, however you listen and support this show. Thank you, Smark. And I will see everybody Saturday. Once again, quick reminder, I'm not going to be here next Wednesday, but we'll see what happens. Maybe next Saturday, me and Smark will just jump on and do another Hollywood hangout for you guys. How's that sound? Maybe. I'll talk to him. I just sprung it on him, so we'll see. Later, everybody. See ya!